All right, whether this summer will have you traveling on planes, visiting loved ones, or going on day trips, you might be facing some unwanted conflict.
We are so excited for this interview. Conflict resolution expert Damali Peterman has 5 tips, complete with an acronym, so we can remember them in the heat of the moment, so we can keep our cool. Welcome.
Thank you. Good. It's great to see both of you, Kara and Scott.
Damali, I'm not going to talk during this interview. You have 5 minutes. Go.
No, but tell us a little bit about, whether you're on a flight, but I mean, even in general, like you said, you might have an irritating relative or someone you just don't get along with. So you have an acronym called PLANS that'll kind of help us not get in fights.
Absolutely. So let's dive right into it. The P in PLANS is for prioritize. You have to ask yourself, is this a relationship of importance to you or just a fleeting encounter? You must weigh whether potentially getting into a confrontation is worth it. Choose your battles. If the topic is significant to you and the subject matter is something you must discuss, prepare for the conversation and consider the appropriate approach. My grandmother used to say, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar.
Yes,
Okay.
I heard that too from my grandmother, and I try to tell my kids that. Okay. L, look for opportunities to collaborate.
Yeah, and you really want to joint problem solve. No one likes being told what to do. A useful strategy to de-escalate conflict is to involve people in the solution when you are identifying the problem. So try to keep the focus on the issue and not the person. And also extend some grace and test out giving someone the benefit of the doubt. People do not always say what they mean, and they don't always mean what they say. So slow things down and give someone a chance to course correct.
I think that's an excellent point, is concentrating on the issue, not the person, because my brother and I recently got into an argument and it turned into a you instead of the issue at hand, which was terrible.
Yeah, Scott, I mean, we also have to think about framing it from an I basis, right? Because a person is less likely to be defensive if you say I as opposed to the you. And that leads us to the A, which is try to appeal to people on a human basis. Try to find common ground in the conversation and recognize that people have diverse perspectives, opinions, and values. Respect differences and agree to disagree if you cannot see eye to eye. I mean, think about how boring the world would be if everyone were the same.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, and it's for never give up. And it also, I guess, would be like second chances, because some people you're just more apt to fight with, I guess.
This is true. And neuroscience tells us that when people are in conflict, they typically aren't presenting the best versions of themselves. Old habits are hard to break, and change takes time. And we have to recognize that there are people, places, and things that we can't control, and that's frustrating. So we have to keep finding opportunities to apply these techniques until we find our groove.
All right, stay clear of controversial issues. How do we do
Tensions
that?
are high. Yeah, Scott, tensions are high, people are stressed, and the world is changing daily. If you know that a particular topic is likely to escalate as opposed to de-escalate a situation, we should try our best to avoid it, because conflict is showing no signs of slowing down. So it's imperative that everyone has their plans for how to manage, prevent, and resolve conflict as it arises.
So these are things that you can do when you're really thinking. What do you do when you're already like you've lost your cool?
That's an excellent question, Kara. And essentially, you just have to pause. Conflict escalates. And how many times have we had a moment where we've lost our cool, myself included, and we just say, what just happened? So what I want people to do when they've lost their cool is to pause. Slow things down, take a breath. And then if it's appropriate to say, you know what, that didn't just go the way I wanted it to go. Let's try it again. Or let's try that conversation again another time. If we're talking about airplanes and things like that, then that's different, right? We have an hour-long flight, a 2-hour flight, a 5-hour flight. Sometimes conflict avoidance is perhaps and also a good approach. But once we've lost our cool, just have to take a moment, recompose ourselves, and then put our best foot forward.
Well, Damali, I think I want you to marry me, and I'm going to take you with me everywhere I go.
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, Scott, I'm already married, but I would love to hang out with you and Kara.
Thank you.
Well, that's all right. I'm gay anyway. Don't worry about it. Thank you.
We can still have an excellent time.
That's absolutely right. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it, and some great advice.
All right. Thank you. And